having a great start to the week. Wanted to just do a quick sound check to make sure you can actually hear me okay. Would you mind using your question panel and chime in and let me know if you hear me okay? The question panel is on your right-hand side, and you should be able to, in the GoToWebinar panel, you should be able to ask a question. Just give me a yes or a heads up or good morning, or yeah, okay, cool. So we got some people chiming in, say you can hear me. Okay, well then that's the hard part is over. The technology is out of the way. So Jeff Phillips, I'm co-founder and CEO of Accountingfly. I'm calling you this morning from Pensacola, Florida, and appreciate the fact that you're on the call this morning. So this is a different format for us. This is, if you've been on some of our webinars, that we do previously, they're usually an hour long. There's a career education topic that we're covering. We do things like we'll have the head of a large firm on, talk about their firm. Some of our recent ones have been careers beyond the Big Four. We have one, I think it's this Thursday, that's specifically about the first year as an associate in a public accounting firm. But we had some user feedback, and our audience asked us, why don't you start curating jobs and tell us about some of your favorite jobs? And so that's what this is about. A quick 20 minutes is my goal session on a few of the jobs that we love, that we think are excellent in the Atlanta area. So I would love it if you could give me a little bit of feedback about maybe those of you on the call, and use your question panel and just tell me where you're located. And if you are not in Atlanta, give me an idea of why you're on the call today. So are you on the call today because you're moving to Atlanta, or maybe you thought this was something that it wasn't, and whatever it is that you're sort of trying to accomplish. So if you'll type into your panel, where are you calling in from, I'd appreciate it. And while you're doing that, I'll give you about 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds. So top jobs in Atlanta, and I'll say this too, full disclosure, every single one of the firms that we're going to talk about today are on Accountingfly. So what does that mean? So first of all, there's a lot of firms that post jobs on Accountingfly, and I'm going to show you a screenshot of this. Is just some of the job postings on Accountingfly. Hopefully you can see this. So some of the firms that we're going to talk about today are represented here, and some of them aren't. Okay, but I'll tell you what we think makes a great firm. And it's these items right here. So we like to consider firms as next generation firms. Those are the types of firms and employers that our members of Accountingfly get excited about. And what does that mean? Well, there's a handful of items that are really critical for this. One is you need to be technology forward. Okay, that means you're training your staff on the latest and greatest technologies. You're getting away from desktop, you're moving into the cloud. You are actually actively training the staff, training you on how to use technology. Number two is clear career direction. So look, if you're a high performer and you're going to do a great job, what should you expect from this firm? So firms and employers that start from the beginning say, hey, if we're going to hire you and you're a star here, this is what you should expect, like compensation increases and a timeline for that kind of thing. When would you become a partner? And when would you expect certain perks, certain flexibilities? And speaking of flexibilities, we know that our audience, that our members on Accountingfly find flexibility to be a critical piece of the puzzle. And so it's important that firms are offering certain, latitudes around work. The trust factor of actually getting your work done, not having to be in the office, not having to be FaceTime. And one thing that I don't put on here on the slide is upgraded office space, right? I mean, nobody wants to work in a lousy office space, and certainly not me and my team. So we want to promote firms that are actively, doing things about the places that you work in. So clearly, commitment to their clients, employees, and the community is critical as well. So if you ask me, if you ask our team, what is a next generation firm and what kind of firm you should be excited about, they're going to have those criteria. One thing I'd like to do too, before we even jump into this, is introduce you to Accountingfly. So some of you might have come into the webinar from our partner CPA Academy, which is a fantastic organization. We thank you for being here if you're from them. So Accountingfly is a job board focused on the accounting profession. And we like to think of it as the most relevant job board in the profession because we do two things that make us relevant for you. One is we curate job opportunities so that you can find jobs from a lot of different job board partners on Accountingfly, not just the ones that are posted by employers on Accountingfly. We're also the highest trafficked accounting job board in the profession as well. The career relevant content is really a big piece of what we do. What we feel like, if we put out into the world career content that educates you on your career search, then in return you'll want to search for jobs with employers on Accountingfly. So we literally every single week do webinars and presentations for our audience, and then we ask your feedback. Hey, what do you want to hear? You know, a great example of this is we did a webinar. We were doing webinars last summer. We started asking our audience, what do you want to learn about? And one thing that kept popping up was, we want to learn about careers in the IRS. You know, what's it all about? Is it all that it's cracked up to be? Are they on the rise? Are they on the decline? Like, what are they all about? So we brought in the head recruiter of the IRS and did 2 sessions with him just for our members. A little bit more about Accountingfly. You keep your real-time data before prospective employers, so you could be inside Accountingfly with an up-to-date profile that recruiters can find. Or if you prefer to be discreet in your job search, you can apply for a job and have no one except for the person at the firm you just applied to see your resume. It's up to you completely because we know you want to be discreet. Employers are able to find the best talent available in the accounting profession. So the employers are here. And what's interesting is one of the things that we see a lot on Accountingfly is job seekers will learn about an employer on Accountingfly and then go to their website to apply. Most employers that use Accountingfly actually not only post jobs on our site, but they also use our software to track applicants. So it makes the most sense to apply directly on Accountingfly because it's easy, because you could use that application for other firms, and also because this is the system that employers use to track you when you're in the applicant pool. So I welcome your feedback on Accountingfly, welcome it on this presentation and what you'd like to hear from in the future. My email address is jeff@accountingfly.com, and let's just jump into the presentation here. So I want to tell you about three firms that are currently on Accountingfly that we're really excited about. The first one is Person Yoakley & Associates, or PYA. So first of all, they're rapidly growing. They're sort of known as a healthcare niche firm, and I think that's the reputation they have. And they have a fantastic healthcare practice. So like this healthcare consulting practice. They also work and serve a lot of financial institutions, a lot of businesses in the construction industry, and so it's a you know, they serve a fairly wide range, but they have this interesting healthcare niche, and we're one of the fastest growing firms in the United States. 200 employees. They're in. One word I would use to describe PYA is entrepreneurial. So this is not your business as usual. Talent acquisition at PYA. She would describe it. It feels like a startup. Now it's a more conservative culture. I mean, you're going to wear a button-down shirt because it has a feel of a consulting firm and an accounting firm, but it's got this startup entrepreneurial vibe because they're always trying something new. They're getting into different lines of businesses, in and out of the accounting profession. And so for the right person, there is literally no timeline, no restrictions on your development. They take great interest in developing their high performers and their leaders. You know, we have it from Lujan, who runs their recruiting, that if you're a high performer there isn't a restriction, there isn't a timeline on your own development. They're going to develop you, and they're going to take you forward. So it's a fantastic firm. They have been growing rapidly. They're actually headquartered in Knoxville, but they have a large office, like I said, in the Phipps Plaza area. So a couple of jobs that they specifically have in Atlanta is it's literally just across the board audit professionals at all experience levels, tax staff, and just about every office. You can see their postings on accountingfly.com, and I think you search for Atlanta and you'll find PYA. But just truly a remarkable firm based in Atlanta. All right, a couple more. The next one I want to tell you about is Coulson. So Coulson is based in Marietta, whereas PYA has about 200 staff. Coulson has 85 people. So this is the top 200 firm by size in the United States. And as you can see here, is named Inside Public Accounting, named in 2014 Best of the Best Firms. Atlanta Journal-Constitution has actually, they just came out the 5th consecutive year, was one of the top workplaces in Atlanta. So Coulson has a fantastic reputation in the public accounting world as a great place to work. We wanted to tell you they're a member of Prime Global. That's an important piece of this too, because they're plugged into Prime Global. So if you have a client that needs to do business in China or have some sort of advice in another part of the world, that connection with Prime Global is a very nice benefit for you, because you can connect with professionals through Prime Global and introduce them to your clients. So a couple of other things about Coulson. You know, they invest heavily in technology. So that was one of the reasons why they scored high on our own rankings. They are strong in training and professional personal development. They have a leadership training program. So you could literally go through on-site leadership training, business development coaching. They have a partner mentorship program, and they also have a buddy system, so you get integrated into the firm quickly and learn the ropes. So they're strong on the HR side, where you really plug into the business very easily. But the thing that we were the most impressed with was the fact that they make a big investment in new, latest, and greatest technologies, and then they take the time to train you on it. So what are the key jobs right now at Coulson? Right, so they're looking for audit seniors in their business assurance practice, business assurance associates, both at the entry level and at the audit senior level. Those postings are live on Accountingfly, and you can apply there. Okay. All right. So last one that we've got here, and before I go on Smith & Howard, I'll take 2 or 3 minutes at the end of this to answer your questions. So go ahead and type questions into that question and answer panel. I'd be happy just to rattle off some questions if we can learn. If I know the answers. If I don't, we can certainly follow up with you. So Smith & Howard, now this is a remarkable firm. Smith & Howard is located just north of Georgia Tech, right off 85. And so one of the things I get excited about Smith & Howard is this concept they have called never stop learning environment. This is a firm committed to training. It's got a collaborative team environment. You meet people from Smith & Howard, you can tell there's a real sense of passion about the firm, about the clients, about what they're doing. And look, it comes across in some of the ways that they have been ranked. So, #1 best of the best accounting firm 2014 by Inside Public Accounting, top accounting firm to work for by Accounting Today. In fact, I think that they were named the top I want to say small firm in America to work for by Accounting Today last year. A tremendous, tremendous honor for Smith & Howard. Atlanta Journal-Constitution has said it's top workplace in Atlanta for 4 consecutive years. And like Coulson, it's about 85 employees. And it's part of the BDO Alliance. If you don't know about the BDO Alliance, this is just a very strong alliance of about 180 firms in the U.S., another 200 outside of the United States, that gives their professionals access to global resources, global reach. It's a fantastic alliance that BDO has. So Smith & Howard, they run the range. They have your sort of traditional audit, tax, accounting services. They also have this interesting niche for services for C-level executives, so they serve a lot of businesses. There's another firm I would definitely check out. And the last piece is what jobs they have available. Look for a tax senior and a tax manager. So depending on your experience level, you would fit in one of those two roles. Experienced audit professionals to work in their location just north of downtown. and a senior accountant and advisory consulting. So that actually represents seniors. They're hiring seniors in each level of their core business. Just an awesome firm that I think you should know about. So that's the three firms that we have on the table for this morning in Atlanta. Now, a couple of things that we'll ask of you is, was this helpful? Was this useful to you to find out color around some of the top accounting employers? Obviously, our team put some research into why they were top. They're meeting the criteria that we want for our job seekers on our site. But what would you like to know that's different? What would you like to know beyond that? You've got my email address, jeff@accountingfly.com. Follow us at Accountingfly. Be sure to investigate these jobs on Accountingfly and apply there. It's the quickest way to get an interview, basically, because your applications are stored inside Accountingfly. So that's it. I'm going to take a second here and just check into the questions and see what questions I can answer for you. All right. So actually, and going back to the location, so about half of you were in Atlanta, and there's one person in Savannah. So a couple of things. One person's in New Orleans, and one's in Delaware looking to move south. And let me tell you, if you're in Delaware, you want to move south, you might have picked the wrong time of the year because it's blazing hot right now. But nevertheless, you may have to. And one person's in Michigan. What about relocation? So I have found that most firms, I cannot speak for these firms, just from an advice standpoint, a lot of firms are at that senior level or above in relocation. So, apply to them. My advice, take it from me as a former recruiter, is to apply through Accountingfly. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and give them a phone call and tell them if you're out there interested, especially if you're relocating to Atlanta, because the CPA firms are really excited about people who are moving, and they want to get to you first. So they'd be excited to know that you found out about them on Accountingfly. So it's a good time to be moving. As you know, I would say if we're now in August, between now and tax season, it'd be a good time to get in front of them. The firms tend to shut down, obviously, around tax season, even the ones that do a lot of audit work. So I had one question. As someone who's not familiar with the Atlanta area, can you tell participants what the average salary ranges are for tax seniors and managers? So I'll tell you what I'll do. I actually have a breakout of salary by experience level and by region. I didn't bring it up on this presentation, so I thank Cheryl for asking the question. If you'll send me an email at jeff@accountingfly.com, in the next 24 hours, I'll respond with that survey, so you can get your hands on that information as well. I think that might come in handy next time you're negotiating a job offer. I've got one last question here, and how does Accountingfly connect with firms? So, okay, two things, and I think what you're asking is, how do we go and get firms so that you can apply to them? So, taking a step back on Accountingfly, largest, most relevant job board in the accounting profession. Now, we want firms, but we also want corporations, private companies, where 75% of accountants work, posting jobs on the site. We're a fairly small team, but we're adding a significant amount of employers every week to the site. How do we do that? Really two things. We have a sales team that's actively recruiting firms to sign up. Number two, we have two of the largest career fairs in the accounting profession. Number one is Meet the Firms Week, National Meet the Firms Week. That's for college students majoring in accounting. And the other one is called Advance, which is a virtual career fair for experienced CPAs. And we just held that on June 18th. When we do these events, that's how CPAs and the employers really find out about Accountingfly. Realize that there's 10,000 CPAs every month looking at our job postings. Realize we've got some excellent software that helps them in the recruiting process, and we easily recruit the firms from there. So we are fairly out there. We partner with a lot of state societies. We partner with Accounting Today, and so we have a pretty large reach out to the accounting firm market. What's cool is if you don't see if we haven't sold job postings in a particular area, we all like Indeed.com. We go through and curate those jobs to try to find the most relevant jobs for someone who has an accounting degree in each location. So about right now, we probably have 4,000 jobs on Accountingfly, including the jobs from our job board partners. Last thing I'll tell you is if you are relocating, so I know there's somebody from Savannah and somebody from New Orleans, Delaware, Michigan. If you're relocating, check out accountingfly.com/moving, M-O-V-I-N-G, moving. That way you can actually schedule a brief time with one of our talent advocates who can help introduce you to top firms in the location you're moving to. We actually make a personal introduction for you. Still go ahead and apply because the recruiter may get to you before we do, but specifically for experienced CPAs, you may want to check that out. Last thing I'm going to do is send out a link to you through the GoToWebinar panel here. And that is in order to get you the job search just for Atlanta. It looks like GoToWebinar is hung up, so I'm not going to send it. That's it. If you don't mind sending us your feedback, give us an opinion on the quality of the call, the quality of the content, and what you'd like to see differently, I would appreciate it. Thanks again for being here. Like I said, 20 minutes. We're at 9:21, so we're Central Time, so we're cutting off. Have a great morning, and please keep in touch. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.